Hello everyone, Hibo here. Just a quick introduction so you know what's going on. This is a collaboration news report from myself and from Silver Gamer. I do have his permission to cross-post this on my channel, and I've linked to his channel in the description below. Enjoy.
Okay, Silver here, and welcome in my yet another news report, where this time I'm going to talk about the new Power Ranger Beast Morpher pick. This is like simply a little small update to my video where I talk about the figures and the Megazord. And firstly, I want to say that the pic that I showed when I was talking about the play school version of the Megazord isn't it. It's the normal Megazord. I'm sorry for the confusion. But yeah, now we got some more detailed pic on the Megazords decombined. And sadly, it's hard for me to compare since I never owned any of the Go Busters original molds. This is why I brought to my studio a helper, the man named The Real Hibo Man. You probably know him, cause I mentioned him in my Transformer BotBots news. He actually owns some of the Go Busters toys, and now he will compare them for us. Hibo, take it away.
Thanks, Silver. This is Hibo here with a short investigative report I am entitling Hasbro Knows What They're Doing, okay? So calm down. In which we're going to do a quick side-by-side comparison of the new Hasbro Beast Morphers Zords picture reveals with some pictures that I've taken of my own original Bandai Go Busters mecha to see what's different, what's the same, and really why I think all of these Zords are going to be pretty comparable to the original designs that they're based on. Now, that being said, we are going to start with the one that has the most differences between Bandai and Hasbro. And that is the Blue Gorilla Truck Zord. The vehicle modes don't look all that different from each other. The most noticeable thing is that the cabs are a different size. It's drastically slimmed down in the Hasbro version, as well as you can see a couple sockets on the side, which presumably are for combining components in a different way. And you can certainly see that those components go together in a different way in the animal mode, where the Bandai one looks more like a traditional gorilla knuckle dragger posture. The Hasbro one is very much upright human posture with a brand new pelvis and chest piece. Now, I believe that this is to facilitate a more perfect transformation rather than the complete and utter parts forming that the Bandai original goes through. And it would make sense, considering that it's coming from Hasbro, the Transformers people, that they might add a few new pieces and new joints to make it much more of a transformation. But we'll see when we actually get better ideas of what the toys do. The one with the next most changes is the Red Cheetah Zord. The vehicle mode, I have a side-by-side comparison, but there's not really that much to talk about. When we transform into the animal mode, you will see that the Hasbro version is a much slimmer and more cheetah-like cheetah. The belly has been slimmed down, and the forelimbs have also been skinnied up to make it look much more like the animal it's supposed to be. Now, whether or not that's an issue for you, I don't know, because the Bandai brick certainly looks more sturdy and substantial, but other than that, not much to talk about. In the robot mode, Go Buster Ace mode, you will see that the Hasbro version has different feet, as well as a new pelvis and hip region, which looks like it has additional joints in it. And it's entirely possible that this is there, like I said, for the gorilla to facilitate transformation, but also maybe to facilitate new added articulation, which is supported by the fact that the head has a swivel. You can see on the Hasbro version that the head is turned to face the camera, whereas the Bandai version has no head swivel. And this is huge, because that head on the robot mode of the Red Zord is used as the head for every Megazord combination. So every Megazord from this line will have a head swivel, which is pretty great considering that that's not a thing that you really expect from Megazords. Next up, we have the Yellow Rabbit Helicopter Zord. Not really much to talk about in the vehicle modes like we've seen before, but there's a side-by-side for you. The animal mode has a couple things to talk about. The big difference, I would say, is that there are no tiny rabbit ears on the rabbit head / cockpit. So in the animal mode, the ears that are formed by the helicopter blades just stay where they are. They don't move forward onto the head like they do for the original Bandai version. There's some hollowness on the front legs, and there's some new sculpting to form claws on the rear feet, but that's really about it. And the Megazord sort of shows that all of these slight changes that we've seen amount to pretty much the same Megazord combination. You see some hollowness on the arms coming over from the rabbit. You see some slimness. Overall, the legs look much more streamlined. The chest is less bulky, both front to back and side to side. The major thing that I notice here is that the Megazord from Hasbro actually has hands with sculpted fingers and thumbs, whereas the Bandai version, which you can't see super clearly in my picture, but it is there, has functional clampy hands. They're there to hold the sword and other accessories, but they're not really meant to look like hands. They just do the job. So, like we've seen with the Bandai of America Zords, there are some downgrades, a lot of side grades, and a couple improvements. You know, you add things where you can to make it as good as possible. And before we finish our look, I will touch on one more thing, which might be considered the biggest downgrade from Bandai's Megazords to Hasbro's, which is the seeming non-inclusion of these little guys, the Buddyroids, the headmasters of the Super Sentai universe. These little figures, which admittedly aren't really much on their own, turn into the heads for the animal head vehicle mode versions of the vehicles, but then also are the heads of the animal modes. When you look at the Hasbro Zords, it's very clear that the animal heads do plug in and move around, because the one, especially it's obvious on the cheetah, has to plug into the chest of the robot, but then also plug into the front of the car. So they are swappable in similar ways to the originals, but if you take a close look at the shoulders of the Hasbro Megazord, you don't see the minifigure kibbly bits on the insides. You just see sort of some silver metal paint. It's not a huge loss. Very clearly, I think to me, it seems like we're going to get 6-inch action figures of the Buddyroids, each with their own little keys for the morpher, which is totally fine. I'll snap up a couple of those for more keys and to have some Buddyroid figures of my own. But it does raise the question of what do the heads do sort of on their own, and what do the Zords look like without the heads plugged in? Because if they swap around for the Megazord combination, which obviously they do, then that means that they unplug, which means you can probably have the vehicle modes without them. So like on the helicopter, is there an alternate cockpit? It looks like the grill flap on the truck does fold up, and it's unclear to me as to whether the feet flaps on the front of the cheetah car can actually close. Like everything else, we'll probably see that more at Toy Fair. And also, like everything else, it's not the biggest design change. The headpieces still perform their main function, which is being animal heads for the various robots and swapping around for the Megazord. And overall, I think that's the real message to communicate here. There are some differences, some things which don't amount to what they were on the originals, some things which might be improved, like head swivels and things. But overall, like I said at the beginning, Hasbro knows what they're doing, okay? So calm down. This has been Hibo Man reporting. Back to you.
Thanks, Hibo. That was great. So yeah, as you can see, Hasbro did a lot of work on those toys, and I can't wait to get them. Also, Hibo forgot to mention two things. We got a pic of the two modes of the Silver Ranger's Zord, which is like a beetle that turns into a jet plane, and a pic of Golden Ranger's Zord, which is, well, we only got one mode for it, and it's the crane truck. but it will still probably turn into a Kabuto beetle in his alternate mode. Also, we have yet another news. We have our next Power Rangers Play School line toy. This time it's a Power Rangers Mighty Morphin Season 2 inspired toy, the Red Dragon Zord. The Red Dragon Zord comes with a small Red Ranger figure wearing the golden plated armor from that one episode where where Tommy lent it to the Red Ranger. I forgot if this was Jason or they changed him already. But yeah, from what we can see, the Zord has some gimmicks of a shoulder cannon, and if you press on its tail, it spits out fire, kinda. But yeah, that's it for my small update video. Can't wait for Toy Fair this week, since then we're going to get like a proper blast of Transformers toys and Power Rangers, and of course maybe more. Like I also saw that Hasbro starts making Overwatch figures, which is pretty cool, even though I don't play the game. But yeah, I won't be able to record info about those figures immediately, cause I will be on a break. But this Transformers Springer got Springer and Thundercracker are listed on Amazon, and we knew how the story went with Jetfire and Omega Supreme. So yeah, thank you, the real Hibo man, for helping me a lot with this video, and I hope that maybe next time we'll also do some collaboration. And also thank you all for listening. See ya next time when I will talk about some other toys. Bye.